All right, and we are back. Huzzah! As you can see, we are down two people, but that's okay. We won't let you know that the coronavirus has laid them up and has kept them quarantined for X amount of years. Uh, so no, we have two of our four folks that are here. We may have Mac later on if he's able to steal himself away. Scheduling differences and illness and whatnot have kind of kept some of us down, but that's okay. However, you will note, and hooray for me, that if you can tell by looking at the my beautiful mug, you will see that I am now using a chroma key, so I no longer have a background. I have the
Oh,
Cyberpunk
smart.
background.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. Of course, it's not so impressive, when you're looking at it in Twitch, or not Twitch, but Discord. They're all seeing, my gimpy, green cloth in the background. Nowhere, nowhere near as impressive as Brittany's Toreador logo, which turned out really, really nice. And we have Brittany in the chat right now. Hello. All right. So, and I think I got all you guys. Yep, yep, yep. All right, cool. So, last we left off was a heck of a game.
Yeah.
We had some drug testing that went awry.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, we had some good eats from Chunk, who ended up cooking for everybody. Uh,
I remember
and
that.
and I believe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but last we left off, I think the general consensus was more testing was needed
I believe so.
for safety
Yeah.
precautions.
Safety precautions,
Yes,
yes.
priapism is not something we want to aspire to.
No, that's probably not a good look
Yeah, no.
for the market.
And I
Ha-
think they were hinting at using the volunteers that we got from the
Mm-hmm.
squatters camps.
Correct.
So we did use a few of them, but we were going to recook.
Correct. That was my
So
understanding. Yes.
yes, so I believe we're gonna go ahead and try another batch
Okay.
and maybe try and whip something else up and see if it's any more or less successful.
Okay. That
Um,
is. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, out of character. Can we choose which batch we use, or is this just a continual thing where wherever we end up regarding roles?
No, no, no. It's so long as you have kept your notes on how you have made it, not physical, like actual out of character, but like
Right.
in character, like you've kind of kept. You're doing the scientific way of trying to put it together, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles secret of the ooze accidentally, dropped it
Gotcha.
down a sewer and now you have Ninja Turtles. If you're being scientific about it, yeah, you'll have the capability of choosing which of the formulas that you want to ultimately present.
Okay, because this first batch wasn't terrible with cautions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to put
uh,
big red letters on it.
I just don't want anything exploding upon ingestion, and then that's our product. There we
Right,
go.
right.
Okay. All right. So Meredith is taking very good notes before we make this next batch.
Okay. All right. Hellcat and Dane at this point have taken off to take care of something. I believe that they were looking into something with the Quins.
Yeah, they were looking for Quinn Prime, I believe.
Yes, they were going to try and set up a meeting with her about something. So
Gotcha.
they're trying to get something squared away with them. We'll say it's about two 2 days since you last ran this test.
Okay. All
So
right.
in the meantime, was there anything in particular you were doing, Locke, outside of obviously keeping your head low?
Yeah, there's that's the thing, man. I mean, I would like to reach out to my sis and maybe my mom, but I don't think it's naturally or very smart right now.
Hmm.
I know that they could track that stuff, so I'm at a loss, man. I'm just hanging out at the in the in the cut playing cards, I guess.
Okay.
I'm
Uh,
gonna if uh if she heads out back to, or I'm assuming we're at the base and
yes.
she's gonna
Yeah. You
head
guys
back
have
there.
you have circled back at this point. You left Chunk up to his own devices at the restaurant
Okay,
because obviously he's not going to be futzing around with anything drug related until
without her being there.
right, exactly, without her being there. So
Okay,
otherwise, he's just being the good little steward and doing his thing and and
gotcha.
and and happily cooking for people instead instead who are paying them in trade, happily kind of cooking for people and just having a grand old time.
Because he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna go look for Meredith, and grab her and look her in the eyes and say, "Hey, you got the AJ. I need you to take me with you because I'm going crazy here. There's
Uh,
nothing for me to do."
wait, are you wanting to test some more?
No, no, absolutely not. But I'll go to make sure you're safe.
Oh,
Those,
okay. All
those,
right. Just so
those
that we're
Yeah,
clear. Okay.
syntax is kind of snickering from behind.
yeah, I don't need to have blood member anymore. We're good. I cross that off my list. I don't need to visit that again.
Yeah, I'm sorry about all that, and
Mm.
thanks
Mm.
for taking one for the team. And I'm gonna punch him gently in the
Yeah.
shoulder and just laugh awkwardly and try and I'll meet you at the AV in 5.
All right.
So syntax pulls Rusty, aka Meredith, aside real quick before you do that, and she says, "Hun, it wouldn't hurt if they're off doing something that maybe we try to find a job or two on the side. Because with you doing what it is that you're doing, and I guess Chunk doing this all in trade, neither of those are equating to cash."
So you're just saying that I can't make drugs willy-nilly and provide for the family?
Oh, I see. That's how we're going with it. All right. Right now, no. I don't think you're the type that you want to be out on the street corner with a trench coat, just kind of holding it open, asking for $15 to put it in your hand.
Maybe that's been my aspiration all along. I mean, maybe you really don't know me that well, Sin. I'm
Please don't
just
say
kidding, of
that.
course.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
What I mean, what did you find? Clearly, we need some cash.
I was just going to offer that if you're going to do that, I can look for something in the meantime and kind of shoot it your way while you're out. If it's
That's
something you guys
probably
would
a
be
good
interested.
idea. I mean, at this point, I don't know how much money Chunk has actually lost us from. I mean, what he's doing is great, feeding people and all. I just don't know
Yeah, no, I get it. And I
how
was
we can
kind of thinking
sustain
the same
this.
way. I'm thinking he did a lot of that out of his own pocket, or maybe I mean, the javelina, maybe he knows people that hunted it down. I don't know. I'm at a loss too, but if we can find something that's going to help give us some more income coming in, and not put us on any immediate radars for Locke's sake, I think that's probably a win.
I would agree. Yeah,
So
if you can find some jobs, and I'm happy to take care of whatever I need to.
okay, all right, yeah. Then I'll poke around. I will send them to Jill once I find out more info.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're going with Jill.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't let her know yet, but she's always game to drive,
Oh,
so
well, yeah. No, I was going to say you're going to break her heart if you don't, include her. She kind of sees herself as the unofficial chauffeur.
Hmm.
I don't know that she's so unofficial at this point, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you get to it.
Okay.
To give Locke my love. and no more blue
Uh,
pills.
I will. I'll make sure he doesn't take anything else at this point. I don't need anything exploding by
Yeah,
accident.
that would be bad. Yeah.
Um, all right. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and walk out and go
Okay.
find Jill and say, "Hey,
She
kiddo."
she pinches your ass on the way out, like a beak.
I'm just gonna swat her away.
So she heads back over to her system. Jill at this point is watching some old cooking show from Thailand, and it's one of those. It's kind of it's almost like an Emerald sort of setup where they have like a studio audience and they're bringing on people that are probably famous from the region or whatnot, and talking about items. But the big takeaway from it is every time he pounds a Thai tea, which is iced, he'll pound it, slam it down, and he goes, "Whoo!" So instead of boom, that's his thing. And like the whole
Wow.
and like the whole crowd will cheer it right back at him when he does it. And she happens to have like a couple glasses that she's made of Thai tea that are like sitting next to her, and she's like doing it with him interactive as she's watching the show.
Jill is my girl, man.
That's a lot of dairy, though. So, I mean,
It's not
and
real
I
dairy either,
don't.
dude.
Yeah,
It's like
no,
the
exactly. I mean, there's no way to really, without spending a fortune, which you guys don't have.
That's
So
true.
yeah, but it's
All right.
close.
I'm just gonna wait till she notices me.
Oh, that you're almost at the end of the episode. At the end of like you've been there like 20 minutes at this point, and she's just like, whoop.
Hey, Jill. Hey.
So she turns around real quick, like shocked, and she's wired. I don't know if you've had Thai tea, but they are
Oh,
super caffeinated.
yeah,
And so
they're
she's got
powerful.
she's got that look on her face like you just surprised Ace Ventura. So she's just like, what? Flying?
Are are you okay? Yes. I
Yes,
mean,
I'm okay. I'm great. I am fully functional. Wide awake.
drive, please.
Are we driving or flying?
Well, flying. You know what I mean by drive is flying because you're so talented. But are you sure you're okay? Because you seem a little up.
Up.
I am awake. I am fully functional, and I am. The term is bright-eyed and no, not bright-eyed and bushy-eared. That doesn't make sense. I'm awake.
Okay, so Locke and I are gonna head out to the Superstition Grill. Would you mind giving us a ride?
No, not at all. Wait. We can. Chunk's gonna make us some more to eat, right?
I mean, I'm sure he will because that's who Chunk is.
Because there's still things on that menu I haven't tried yet, and I'm like totally down.
Okay. Well, I promise whatever's available, I will make sure that you can get something.
All right, cool. You're not gonna like narc on me to Hellcat, are you?
For what? For getting a cheeseburger?
She
Or for
look.
having that much Thai tea?
She just looks down at the glasses and then looks back up at you and has that I don't know nothing look.
As long as everything is very smooth, I don't anticipate any tattling. Just don't flip us again, please.
Can I hear what's going on?
Yeah.
Flip.
I'm just gonna put my finger on
Lock the enabler. She's like, yeah.
it.
So she goes and gets her flight goggles and getting dressed for for flight time again. Giving scritches to Ivan Doggo, the new safe house mascot.
I like Evan, man. He's my boy.
Him's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
And so she gets in there and she starts, flipping on the music, or not music, but the gauges, and firing up the engines and whatnot. And then you end up hearing, just as it pulls out of the hangar slash garage, you end up hearing Pantera start blasting from the internals.
I'm in love, man.
And she's like, I found this local station. They play nothing but the classics. This is
Nothing but the classics.
badass. And so she, throws it into gear and starts taking the hover band up, quickly, and then bolts out, and then like comes to a cruising speed real quick as she kind of glances up, in the back to make sure that Meredith isn't giving her the evil eye or something like that. Making sure she's still in the okay.
I will snitch.
Yep. You can see, however, now that you guys are up in the air, you can see you can actually see the complex in Chandler from here, at least from the air, anyways. It's only been in construction for like the past 3 weeks now. It's almost done.
Wow. They
And
went to town on that, man.
yeah, yeah. And and it is probably 15 stories,
Wow.
Wow.
in total, and kind of that pyramid like style in a way.
Like
So
Tartarus.
yeah, kind of, yep. But it's got, it has. You can even tell from taking off. You can tell that it's got mirrors up on the side, as it reflects the light, and you catch a glare every so often. They're clearly making use of available solar power and whatnot out there. So even just
Yeah.
looking at the size of it and everything, there's a good chance it's not even on the grid.
That's crazy.
But you guys make it out to uh, Gold Canyon, Apache Junction area, where the tent city is at. Uh, tent city at this point, it's you have. Let's see, you guys established the restaurant. Let's say within the past week. And the restaurant itself has actually kind of become the hub of the activity here. There's a lot of there's not a lot of freestanding buildings, but to the point when you guys first landed, when you first came to see the completed project, I should say, there had been that whole parking lot was kind of cleared up, and you know old vehicles and whatnot were reused and everything. Well, now in the 2 days since, there is the road to where the tent city is at, up to where the Superstition Cafe is, has all been kind of cleared up. I mean, it's obviously not repaired or anything. I mean, there's still damages to the road that would require a lot more than just manual power. But there's obviously a lot of activity back and forth. So like any
Hmm.
junk, remnants of parts, or even boulders or dead trees or something that were in that area, like everything is being used and repurposed and cleaned up. So you're starting to see some hitching posts for people who have now got a hold of like some horses or beasts of burden or whatnot. There are a couple serviceable wheeled vehicles that are kind of going back and forth. It looks like a couple of the people that may have kind of taken advantage of their skills and have turned them into kind of short distance cabs to get them back and forth. So the tent city now
Mm.
isn't completely on top of itself. The tent city now is actually spread out a little bit more as
Yes, brawl.
yeah, as a little bit more of a sprawl, as people they're actually. I mean, it's still a shitty situation, being right where they're at, but they're clearly making more of it.
Gotcha.
They're making more use of the surrounding area, giving themselves some breathing space, and apparently are feeling a little bit more secure in their environment.
Good. That's cool.
And of course, there's still a heavy line coming into the Superstition Cafe.
Superstition Cafe sounds like it's an anchor store now, man.
Yeah, it probably would be to this particular complex. But yeah, and you still got your small little bazaar that's out there that they have their selling their odds and ends and wares and whatnot. And of course, there is the that tent with the Red Cross, so it's still in operation. The city's doing what they can to help with medical supplies. It's still clearly backed up as well, but the fact that it's there and still in operation is a good sign.
Good.
But you guys, start coming to a landing or whatnot. Jill's, looking around and she's like, "Wow, this is like really kind of coming up. This is like I don't know, a fancy flea market now." Oh, Missy is muted.
Oh, you're muted, babe.
Don't.
Still muted.
Oh, that's because I did it on Discord and I forgot.
Uh,
Um, I was just saying it's funny what a little good food will bring.
Yeah,
yeah.
very true. So
So let's.
you guys have touched down at this point. There's still the hustle and bustle in that parking lot. They've got some tent covered booths where people are selling their wares. There's a Superstition Cafe that is clearly going. You guys can smell that grill going already. It's got
Mm,
that char brilled effect that like a lot of grills and Burger Kings have. Like you pass by it near lunchtime and somebody opens up that vent.
man. That's good stuff.
On the way in, I want to peruse at the bazaar to see if there's anything unusual or interesting, and then head in through the back.
Okay. Why don't you let's see, break out a character sheet and make a roll. Do. Here we go. This will do. So why don't you go with intelligence and awareness notice.
Awareness. What is that under?
It's under intelligence. It's the first column of skills down towards the bottom.
Oh, okay, I see it. It's cut off on my sheet.
Oh,
And a D10.
and a D10.
Look at the glowy one.
Nice.
Locke got that for me. So I'm starting with a 15
Nice.
plus a 10.
Oh, roll again. Explodes.
Dang. You gonna find something
A
good?
3.
A 3. Three. So you got what total?
28.
28. Damn. All right, good roll.
Yeah, first one of the day, man. Goose.
Yeah, starting off good. And I'm going to describe this first, and then we got to do
Okay.
something super important right after it. And I will get to that in just a moment. Okay, so you are going through the bazaar, and you can see that some of this is probably things that the travelers who came here are just trying to pawn off. They're trying to get rid of, junk. So it probably would be good to somebody who was completely without. Not so much for you. So you're seeing a lot of like, there's some low end jewelry. There's like some portable communication devices. A lot of stuff that you already have or can replicate. Not too difficult to do so. You do, however, find Oddly enough, there is a whole cyber arm, little on the beat up side, and it needs some TLC. It's got some rust and it's seen some wear and tear. But the guy is just, he's got it out on his table. He is clearly trying to sell and the explanation he is like giving to people is that it had belonged to his grandfather and he's already passed away. So he didn't see, he's hoping to try and get something for it, rather than see it just go to waste.
How much do you want for the appendage?
Oh, so you chime in, and he turns and looks to you, and he's like, "Oh, it's a good question. We're doing a lot of trade, but if you actually have credits, that I won't lie, it'll go a lot further. Are you looking to trade, or do you have credits?
I mean, what are you looking for?
Well, ideally enough credits to get my family the hell out of here, despite the improving situation. So he's mulling it over, and if you give me just a second, I'm going to get
Okay.
some costs here. Oops. Here we are. Um, he says I can. I'm trying to get about 2,000 for it.
Hmm. Okay. Who was your grandfather?
Oh,
Just
he gives you a name, and he's like my grandfather. He saw a lot and did a lot, and at one point in time had the money for this sort of thing. He had actually quite a bit of cybernetics, but this was the only thing I was actually able to salvage.
gotcha.
He lived life, if you understand my meaning.
Yeah.
So
No, no, I get it. Would you take anything in like a service as a trade? I mean, I have some medical knowledge.
good question. Why don't you roll your cool? Wait a minute, no, it's going to be empathy, I think. It is. So empathy and your persuasion and fast talk.
Okay. All right. It looks like I'm starting with a 9. All right. Yes. Okay. 12.
12 total. Okay. So he's like, so what is it you do?
I mean, installations,
Said what?
installation, um, just here and there, just, medical stuff, pretty good at it, went to school for it, so
Shit, sound pretty good. Good. Let's go. No big deal.
So Brittany's wanting to know how much for rolls of toilet paper.
That's a straight trade. 3 ply.
Yep, I told her 1/4 portion.
throw in
So
a roll of paper towels and you're good.
yeah, I know. He's like, so you're a med tech. Don't have much use for one right now. But I tell you what, why don't I could do it for 1,500, um, if you and a favor for later on, because I mean we may need something like health wise later on.
Okay. Health wise, absolutely. I'm good for that type of a favor. That's not a problem. Um, I'm looking to see how much money I have currently. Hey, money bags.
I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen.
Hey, money bags. Would you mind loaning me about $1,500? Because there's this really cool arm over here that I would like to pick up.
I'm gonna need about 350. I'm gonna look at her and then look past her and look at that arm.
Okay.
Is it compared to what I have on me? Does it look like it's pretty badass?
No, 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 no. You've got more
It's
top of the line stuff.
okay.
But she's a med tech, so this may be something you guys could spin doctor in later on.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hold on. Meredith, let me check and see what my credit is real quick.
Okay,
How much do you need?
1,500.
Oh, yeah, that's I found that in between the seats of my cushions earlier, man. Here, no big deal. That was in my couch.
She's just gonna audibly exhale. Thanks.
You can have my pocket change, I guess. Come and get me when you need with some real money.
All
Wait, don't
right.
come and get me when you need some real money.
All right. Thanks. I'll make sure to pay you back somehow. And then I'll just spin on my heels and go purchase
Yeah.
the arm.
Okay,
My
sure.
I'm gonna roll my eyes so hard that you can hear it.
Alrighty. So yeah, you take the cred stick. Um, you swipe it against his for the 1,500, which he is elated at this point to actually have some sort of cash at this point. And he lets you have the arm. He even puts it in a shopping bag for you.
Is it just like pushing the limits of that bag?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's clearly a shopping bag from somewhere in town, somewhere that maybe
Yeah,
floated out here. He's just trying to be official and
Frederico's.
yeah, just bag it up for you, sort of thing.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna say thanks and then I'm gonna head on inside.
Okay. As you are heading inside, Missy, why don't you give me another roll? Uh, this is going to be tech and your med tech.
Okay, starting with 15. 19.
19. Okay. Looking, I mean, again, the thing is kind of beat up, but with some polish and TLC, you can get it just about like new.
Mhm.
You do, however, see one of the ports is currently closed.
Okay. Is that something I would know how to fix?
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's closed like broken. It's just closed like left closed. These are ports.
Okay.
These are ports normally that you would put chips in or something.
Mm.
Um, Meaning that there's likely a chip in there?
It could be, but it's
Okay,
closed.
I'm
You'd have
gonna.
to examine it.
Okay, when I have a better opportunity, I'm gonna examine it
Okay.
unless I have the tools around me now.
Oh, you don't even have to have the tools.
Okay,
It,
then
it
I'm gonna go ahead
chips
and
like
examine it.
this, chips like this for cyberware. To give you kind of a visual, think of although not quite as primitive. Think like Nintendo cartridges. You don't have
Okay,
to sit down with tools. You could just pop it in and out, without any problem.
okay, I'm gonna fiddle around with it and see if I can pop out whatever's in there.
Okay, so you guys go walking into the Superstition Inn. It's not quite as packed when you were first there. You guys are here a little bit later in the day. Jill has already got a booth at this point and has like this plate of something. It looks like it was probably a burger at this point, but because the burgers are massive, they kind of fall apart. And, so she's just kind of got this unruly mess on her plate that she's gleefully just kind of eating away. You sit down with the cyber limb and just get at it again. A little bit of rust, but you pop the closure enclosure off, and you can see that there's a chip inside.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Is this something that I have my data
Hmm.
link available to pop into and take a look at, see what it is?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. It is actually a what was it? It's a uh, what it is. It's a chip that modifies your reflexes. So you ended up getting the arm and this chip. It's hard to say to what degree it will modify it, but
Mm-hmm.
you basically got yourself a small little bonus with it.
Nice.
Because being a med tech, you know that cyber arms go for about 3,000, 4,000 ish, depending upon like what quality and who you're getting it from. So they usually fall somewhere around that range. The chip itself probably goes somewhere in the range of like maybe 500 to 600, depending upon how good it
Nice.
is.
Mm-hmm.
So
All
that's your
right.
side job right there, man. Go sell that stuff.
Yeah. I'm just taking my notes. So I'm I'm gonna go ahead and send a text
Hmm.
with a photo and a little write up of that information and let her know, hey, I got something that might help us with the job hunt XOXO, and then send that.
Okay. So she sends back one of those smiley faces with the hearts in the eyes, sort of thing. She says, "Good," and it just says, "Good job, babe."
An eggplant. What's that?
All right. So before we go any further, real quick, something we forgot to do because it's the first game of the month.
Mm.
XP.
XP.
We have
And
to roll. And what else is it?
it's
Birthday month.
it's somebody's
It's
birthday
it's
month, man.
somebody's birthday, so we need to do both.
Right on, man.
So
So what we got? What
Eric,
are we rolling?
birthday boy, why don't you go ahead and roll your D4 plus one,
D4 plus one.
and then a D6 plus one.
All right. D4 is 3. D6 is 6.
All right. So go ahead and write that down in you guys' sheets. Just make sure that it's written down somewhere so we can let Derek and Jessica know.
That
9
was
XP.
9 total. Okay.
9 total.
Nice.
Sweet. I have so much XP. I don't know what the point expenditure is, so maybe it's not so much, but I have some stuff I need to spend soon.
Okay. Well, at the end of the game, we can go over that too,
Okay,
and maybe help you spend where you might need it, and so on and so forth. So
that would be good.
okay. So, but you guys are at the Superstition Inn at this point, and the lady who's an acting waitress comes walking up to the table and like, okay, so what can I get for you? Wait, weren't you guys in just a couple days ago?
Sure were.
Yeah, we were actually. Could you send Chunk over whenever he has a second, or if I can go meet him back just to say hi? We're friends.
Oh no,
Wait,
you, honey, you can go ahead and go on back. I don't really have a say there. He told me that you're, I guess, like part owner or something, so you don't need me to give you the okay.
Yeah, just I know I'm not here on a daily basis, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So, but thank you.
so so we're not gonna order no food.
You guys can stay here and order if you'd like.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for 2 waters with hair in it, and there was something last time with javelina sausage in it. I think something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? I don't remember the menu exactly.
No problem. Let me get it pulled up here for you real quick.
Right on. I remember water with hair in it. It was delicious.
Okay, so depending on what you wanted to get. So you said javelina, right? So there was the Tent City Surprise, which is basically pigs in a blanket, but the hot dogs were made with javelina meat.
That was it. That was it.
That was it. Okay.
Yep. So one of those,
Okay.
and whatever Jill's gonna get.
Oh, Jill is already working on killing an implants only burger.
Oh, all right.
Plants only burger.
That
He
was
wa-
just for reference. That was two half-pound patties,
Oh,
Thousand
that's
Island
right.
dressing, grilled onions, lettuce, tomato, pickle, half pound of pastrami, half pound of bacon,
Oh
Amer-
my God, dude.
American cheese, also available in animal style.
Oh my
That's right.
gosh. I want that right
That's the
now.
one. Yeah, and then you're gonna be passed out until tomorrow.
Right?
I need to find the pictures because it's actually fashioned after a legitimate burger from my old hometown.
Oh man.
And the burger was called the King Kong Burger. And last time we were out there in California, which was a while ago, I told my boys about it, and so they ended up. We both went to that restaurant. They both got it, and they're like holding it
Oh
up to their
man.
head, and it's like this big. You know, Colin's
Man.
all like,
Oh, that would just make you so sleepy afterwards.
I know how to like it'd make you take a nap.
"Oh, what I would do when I started because I used to live right around the corner from one. I would actually cut it in half, and that was my
Mhm.
lunch, and then the other one was my dinner. So I wouldn't try to eat
That's
it all
great.
at one sitting.
That's nuts, man. I'm gonna yell at Meredith. Hey, do you want me to order you anything? Are you gonna come back?
I'm okay right now. Thanks
All
though.
right.
So you go walking in the back, and you see Chunk is busy at work, working the grill, and clearly happy with like way too much on his plate.
I'm just gonna wave to him like, "Hey there, man. How are you doing? I mean, it looks like you're doing pretty great actually."
Oh, hey there, Meredith. How you doing? It's not too bad. Seeing you there. Yeah, no, we're super busy right now. If you can't tell by the inherent theme music, and he kind of turns and looks around. He says, "Oh, sorry, that's a wetware implant. Only I can hear it."
I'm so happy for you. I mean, do you need any help with anything? I was just coming by to check on things and see when we could make another do another recipe test whenever you're available.
Oh
It
no, of
seems
course
like
not. It'd probably be good to wait until the restaurant or cafe was closed down. Don't want to bring any undue attention or whatnot. Plus, I really need to do a deep cleaning of the grease in this grill. Whew, getting up there.
no, no, totally understandable, and thank you for all of your hard work. When do you want me to come back? Do you need some time after closing, or about what time do you want us to show up?
Well, we close at about 7 p.m. So why don't you just come back at about 8, and we should have most everything wrapped up. I'll send a couple extra guys in here to clean up.
Okay. Well, let me know if you need anything in the meantime. I think we're gonna order some food and enjoy the fair before we take off.
So he salutes and he's like, and he says, and I'll have Locke's order right up, and rattles it off. The two waters with two waters with a hair, and Tent City special, and the implant only burger that is already being devoured. So
All right. So I'm gonna go back to the table and let them know. Hey guys, we're gonna after you're done eating, we can take off, but we're gonna come back around 8 o'clock or so to help clean up.
Sounds good.
before Jill is like still trying to take control of his burger that is actually taking control of her. I mean, it's just too much. Especially when your diet is usually consisting of, or up to this point for the most part had been mostly kibble.
Yeah, this is amazing.
And so she ends up getting, there's a little chime that goes off in her earpiece, and she's like, oh, and wipes up her mouth real quick, and she says, I'm getting a message from Sin.
Oh,
Oh, I'm surprised she's not messaging me directly. But what does Sin have to say today?
somebody's butt hurt, man.
Something about potential jobs.
Oh yeah. If you guys don't mind, while we're out, just you know, cashing and cashing in some cans and returning some stuff to the Wally World.
So she's kind of like looking it over. She's like, no, this looks like this is not recycling.
All
Uh,
right, Jill, where are we going?
well, no, it's optional. We don't have to do it. She got a couple of them here for us. I guess she looked at the billboards or something. First one is looks like it is put out by Phoenix PD. They're wanting somebody by the name of Zen brought to justice. So
Hmm.
they're willing to hire some mercs to make that happen. The next one looks like it is a help wanted ad from some guy named DLL.
Hmm.
What kind of help is wanted?
It doesn't say specifically.
knowing knowing our cosmically bad luck, it's gonna be pretty something pretty crazy.
Well,
And then the last one here is kind of similar. Some guy by the name of Wash is looking to for movers. It looks like.
I think that's gonna be the one. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm not exactly a merc, but I could probably, I don't know, if you almost kill someone, their scooter.
Tuna ever.
I could probably make sure they don't die, so we turn them in for a bounty. But yeah, I think maybe this mover gig might
All
be
right,
the
I mean,
less risky.
depending on our time or whatnot, we could probably see if we can kill both, man. I mean, I don't care about getting dirty. If we need to go get somebody, that's fine.
I mean, hey, if we can fit them all three in before we have to cook, I think that would probably be our best bet. I just don't know
I got you. Let's go move
how any of
first,
these will go. Okay.
and then call it from there.
Okay.
Okay, so she taps, the thing and just speaks into a little headset. She's like, "Okay, Sin, looks like everybody's okay with the mover. Can you send us the details on that one and send that directly to Meredith, please? And thank you." And she, you see a little chime or a little message pop up that you ended up getting a text, and it's got some location information for this contact named Wash.
Okay. Does it say anything further about or anything more descriptive about the move?
Looks like it sounds legitimately like a move. Like they're needing equipment or they're needing equipment moved safely to a location that will be disclosed upon agreement of the contract.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. So I'm going to give the information over to Jill and Locke.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so she's like, it actually has kind of an address. Okay, um, I guess we'll head over there. And then she pulls up a map and she goes, "Oh, um,
Uh-oh.
well, we can get there no problem. It's on the edge of Harbinger's territory, though."
Oh, crap.
Hmm. What's the payment on this gig? Out of
Uh,
character? Does it
the
say?
it does not say.
Okay. Um There's contact information on the ad, though.
There is.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and contact the person who placed the ad, I guess.
Okay. So there's a little chime and some more, more chiming, and then it patches through, and you end up seeing a visual of somebody kind of pop up on, on the phone. Average looking guy, kind of must dishwatery blonde hair, uh, on the darker side. Appears to be a fan of casual clothing and Hawaiian shirts.
Plastic dinosaurs.
Oh,
And he says, "Hello."
hi. Calling about your ad. I understand you need a mover, and I can facilitate that.
Oh, that'd be perfect. And none too soon. Uh, I'm sorry. How did you get the ad?
I mean, you don't have to worry about that. So, what's the payment
You don't
for
have to.
this? I mean, is this something you're trying to keep, um, low level?
Yeah. Discreet is of the discretion. Is that how you put that? Yeah. Yeah. Discreet. Discreet would be good. Would be perfect.
Well,
Go ahead
good
and
thing.
roll your empathy and your fast talk.
Okay. Uh, Starting with a 9 plus a 2, so 11.
Woohoo! When I feel like I'm alone. Woo! All right. So he's like, so I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Meredith?
Meredith. Meredith. Okay. So he's like, looks like he's probably running some numbers or something.
Mhm.
Okay, so Meredith, I'll tell you what, it isn't exactly safe on open lines like this. So why don't we agree to meet somewhere and we can discuss this more in person? I'm kind of a private person. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're not a creep, I'm happy to meet you in person.
Creep, creep. No, no, of course not. No, I hardly get dates at all. No,
Heavens no.
no. Yeah. So, and he gives you, a location. And he says, yeah, that would be the White Castle across town, or the old White Castle, anyways. I don't know if you're familiar with the old franchise or whatnot, but yeah, it shouldn't be hard to find it. It's the only building that looks like a castle in that area.
Gotcha. All right. Well, when do you want to meet? And do we just come up with a time? And
Oh, now would be absolutely perfect. No, I've got room on my calendar.
okay, that sounds good. We will meet you there shortly.
All right, click.
Where
So
are we going?
we're going to White Castle. I guess an old White Castle. White.
An old, an
Do you
old.
remember White Castle? Is that a thing?
I don't.
Yeah,
Didn't they used to sell adult things there?
Jill's like,
Oh,
no, that's Castle Superstore.
I've heard of that. That's legendary.
Castle. Is that the place they did the jousting at?
I'm sure they did jousting, but not of that nature.
Hmm.
Okay.
But I'm not a historian.
All right. So, and then I'm going to give them the information when we go.
Okay, so she's like picks up and she's like, okay, well this isn't much further away. This guy must be like gifted when it comes to traveling. So she picks up and flies out, back across town, and at this point, over the 60, um, and to the remains of an old white castle.
Awesome.
That is actually not too far away from the Harbinger's territory still. But you can tell just by looking at it, the map that you guys had that kind of gave the rough streets and everything, that this is one of those, oh, for lack of a better term, open areas.
Mm.
And we're having problems with the stream. Hooray!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Gotta make do. Hold on.
No problem. Looks like it's going fine for me.
It dropped out for me.
Mm.
Yeah, it's dropping out a little bit here and there. There we go. So, um, but you fly out. The area again, like much of the Badlands, is still the buildings are thoroughly wrecked. They're not. They don't look very good. This particular building, I mean, really, it looks like an old White Castle restaurant was probably at this street corner. And the only way you can really tell is the bleached out remains of the roof looks kind of like
Mm.
a tower precipice sort of. Otherwise, I mean, there's enough damage to the building that if somebody didn't tell you what it used to be, you'd be like, that's just kind of a weird looking building. And
Gotcha.
you end up seeing a guy pacing back and forth who kind of looks like the guy that you spoke to on the earpiece or the headset, I should say. Um, that he's dressed in a very similar fashion. He's just kind of pacing out in front of the restaurant off to the side. Windows are kind of broken and busted out and whatnot.
I'm gonna go ahead and get out and just take a look or like a quick look around just to be sure there's not anything super obvious that's gonna murder us in the meantime.
Jump out and get us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when you land and you look around, go ahead. Everybody who wants to, anyways, go ahead and roll your intelligence and awareness notice.
Intelligence.
Hi, Zoe.
Starting with the 15. And I got a 1. So 16.
This is Zoe. Say hi, Zoe. Mwah.
11. 20.
20?
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay, so as you guys touch down, looks relatively safe. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, although the sun at this point is largely ebbing, so it's starting to cool off. Really, the only thing you would end up seeing, perhaps, are birds nearby.
So I'm gonna head up to our not visitor, our contact
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
and introduce myself. Hi. Um Wash, I'm Meredith. We
Okay.
spoke.
Okay. I, so you just approach and say hi?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he's just like, oh, thank you. You didn't waste any time. I much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make such immediate time for us.
Well,
Can I
time
ask
is of the essence, as they say, and I say,
you also say, or
yes,
are you
yes.
gonna say something else? Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no.
can you tell me a little bit more about this job? Maybe more about what kind of risk And I know you mentioned it wasn't so safe.
And he looks around a bit, as you say that. Just it's clear he's paranoid, probably for a reason. But he
Mm.
kind of looks around a bit, and he says, "Well, yes, I have very sensitive and delicate equipment that I desperately need delivered to an undisclosed location. Something that I will reveal upon transit to help, obviously, avoid any potential complications. But as you can tell, especially from the location, it isn't exactly the safest anymore. And there's reason to believe that there are, how should we say this, other mercenaries attempting to take my items. And if
Oh,
they
okay.
if they find them, it would be bad. And obviously, I would be out all this stuff, and yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Gotcha. So what's the payment on this? What can we expect in return?
So he kind of thinks and he looks and he says, "Does 10,000 sound okay?"
Let's go get some boxes.
Do you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just gonna look back at Locke and look at Wash, and 10,000 will work. I mean, would you, if we have any damage that becomes our 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 craft, would you be able to reimburse us, or is this just a 10,000 flat fee?
Oh, well, let us aim for completion of the moving first, and then we can discuss the other later.
Okay. I mean, sure. Let's do this.
Okay, so he ends up pulling up a device and swiping or something on it, and it immediately sends a location to where you need to go.
Okay.
Okay.
And with that, you end up seeing him vanish.
What? Was he hologram?
Yeah, actually, it was.
Oh my
Oh
god.
wow. That's pretty nuts.
This is yeah.
Wow,
Let's let's see how this plays out then.
he really wasn't kidding about
Yeah, he's in some shit.
yeah. Okay. So let's, I guess, try to just get this over with so that we can get out of harm's way, because I don't like this.
Yeah. Let's go see what's up.
Okay, so Jill takes you guys back into the hover van and flies back over, which is maybe only like 2 blocks over from where this is at, and ends up landing at what appears to be an old like warehouse for shipping and whatnot, where there's a lot of bays where semis probably backed up at some point in time, so for
Mm.
like sending and receiving and whatnot. When you land near the building, as soon as you get near one of the doors, you hear a click,
Hmm.
and it starts sliding up.
Oh, I took click as like gun click, and I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
no.
no.
We're gonna die. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna disembark, and upon doing so, I want to scan the area, see
Hmm.
if there's anything out front or within the visible area of what I can see inside the place since the door opened up.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your intelligence and actually combat sense for you.
Okay. So, so that's starting with 13, 17 altogether.
Actually, hold on. I think combat sense may go off of cool. Hold that roll.
Sure.
Was just thinking about that.
Gotcha.
Do do do. Here we go. Combat sense. Oh no! So you're still gonna. It's actually not cool.
Hmm.
Um, so what you so you're going to keep the roll you have, but you're also going to add your awareness to it.
Oh, okay. So let's 10 plus. What do you say? Is it 17?
Hmm.
22 altogether.
Nice. Okay.
Wow.
So you do a quick scan of the room. I mean, you're getting to the point where you're out of the I just have to kind of follow around because they're talking techie junk and what's normally been going on in your life to okay, I'm back in my skill set, my mode.
Gotcha.
And so you've got your gun at the ready, got your head on the swivel, kind of looking around. The interior of this place is pretty well cleaned out, although it's not in disrepair, unlike the neighborhood. There are some
Mm.
crates here and there that may have contained, whatever. However, in one of the offices, in this warehouse, you can see some lights kind of coming out of it, from the darkness. Probably lights you would assume coming from like machinery or activated computer equipment or something.
Got you.
But inside of here is Jill could easily fly the AV4 in here and it not be a problem. So if you wanted to load it on the inside of here and fly out, you could.
Yeah, I would motion to Meredith and Distiller. You want to land her in here in case we need to
I'll,
dust off real quick.
Yeah, she looks around. She's like, "Well, yeah, it'll keep us out of eyesight. So yeah, let's do that."
yeah.
Picks up and flies on the inside.
Awesome.
And then as
Where's
she touches down, you can see Wash reappear.
what is it? What is it that we're looking for?
He says, "Oh, thank you for coming in. Please just follow me, and I will show you what exactly it is that you're needing to move."
All right.
And so he goes walking along, and he's like, "Oh, and I don't know if you're ever wanting it, but there's a case of, you know, children's toys over there." And kind of walking along, and he's like, "Oh, old Texas Instruments classics. You can take those if you want."
Calculators.
He says, "Oh no, they're the old speaking spells. Horrible voice. Yeah, I don't know if you want to play with them.
Awesome.
They're all like secondhand, but I mean, they're there for the taking if you want them. And I don't have any need for them. Entertainment's done."
I'm gonna grab one as we're walking by real quick and
Okay,
shove it in my back pocket.
sure. Well, you can't shove it in your back pocket. The old speaking spells and whatnot, they're like almost book size.
Oh, I was thinking about those small like ruler looking ones.
Oh no, huh?
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I'll come back to that later.
Okay. I'm sorry. What'd you say, babe?
I said Hope was sitting at the front door, sitting up on
Oh.
the back leg like a gopher.
Um,
Everybody,
Rebecca said hi.
Hi.
Tell her we say hi.
They say hi.
yay!
Wait, is it the one where you pulled the cord and the big arrow went spinning around and then it stopped at something and it
Hold,
said what it was?
hold on one second. I'm sorry. What?
How late are you playing?
Probably until 9.
Dinner will be ready.
Okay. Thank you. Alrighty. No, actually, it's not those.
Okay.
It's the ones that they're battery operated. You have to. It would say spell truck.
Oh, okay.
And you have to.
Yeah.
And
Those
each
things
letter
are
you
cool.
type out, it would say, well, TRU.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
Yeah, so it's those old school, like, 1980s
Yeah,
sort of
good
things.
stuff.
Yeah, they had speak and spell and speak and math and I think whatnot. So yeah, so and he goes walking back to where the office was. Now the office, the setup on the inside is very much like your classic server room. So you've got your cage, you've got the doors here. Everything here is super reinforced, and in
Hmm.
fact he fades away when you guys get near the door, and then the door clicks.
Hmm.
And when you come walking in, obviously the everything here on the inside, it's all like a big server bay.
Wow.
And so he reappears again, and he says, "This is everything that absolutely must go, and it
The
is has to be one trip."
this whole server room
Correct.
is. Oh my god, man! It and everything is everything plugged in as it is right now.
Well, everything is plugged in. Obviously, I've taken considerations that and a listed shutdown sequence that would need to be followed.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that to Meredith. She's the brains.
Um, Out of character, looking at this room, is this something we could fit in the AV4 with some Tetrising?
With some Tetrising, yes.
With some Tetrising?
If you had more people, no.
Okay. Um, so I'm just gonna look at Locke and we can make this work
Okay,
for 10,000 credits. We can make this work.
let's do it. I'm guessing time is of the essence, and when when you're nervous and you get that little itch in your butthole, like something's about to happen. That's how I'm
I
feeling right now.
she with that I'm just gonna turn on my heels and where's the shutdown protocol?
Oh, and he just motions to a three ring binder that actually has like laminated inserts in it,
Uh-huh.
and
So
it's all paperwork. Yep. So you just kind of flip
Oh
through it and step by
no.
step.
Okay.
There's like 20 pages,
Oh
oh my
wow.
but
god.
it's all in sequential order.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and initiate this shutdown.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna go back to the door and start looking out and make sure that nobody's coming in
Okay.
while she's doing that. I don't know how long
So
this is gonna take.
yeah, so you're doing that. Jill is helping where she can. She's obviously not the strongest person, but she's helping with physical labor, and thankfully, even in today's day and age, most servers they're not super heavy. Even if there's a lot of them, you can take them out, or you can. It's almost like moving stereo equipment.
Yeah.
So it can be bulky, but not so heavy. It's just a matter of getting it all taken down. It's just there's a lot of it.
I was when you said servers, I'm thinking like the cabling that's attaching everything to. Like I don't is that one of those things we're dealing with here too?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's
All right.
it's just if you follow the booklet step by step, it's telling you how to turn everything off and disassemble everything and whatnot. But as you guys get down through the first set, there's like 5 sets that you have to get through. You end up hearing a whirring sound like a and then you hear
That's sounds like Jill getting at it, man. I'm
and
gonna
then you see no, Jill is actually inside helping load the thing, helping
oh
to load the
shit.
hover van. And then Wash appears in front of all of you again, and he says, "Oh, that would be the mercenaries."
Oh,
Awesome.
He says, my outer defenses shot their scout, so if we could make haste, I would appreciate it.
Oh man. Let's hustle it up, guys.
So
okay.
yeah, and at this point, Jill, Jill is obviously most comfortable with a flight stick between her legs or a steering wheel in front of her. She has neither of those, so she's clearly edgy at this point, trying to get everything going. So go ahead and give me. Let's see. We said there's 5 sections. You got 1 section down. Go ahead and give me 4 more.
Oh,
We're gonna go intelligence, and you're being careful, correct?
hmm
Yep.
Okay,
very.
that's what I thought. Okay, let's go intelligence and hmm. Wouldn't be awareness notice. Doggies. Let's just go intelligence and a D10 roll, and
Okay.
I'll change the difficulty to it.
4 more.
Yes.
Okay, so 17 intelligence. Oh yeah, I'm starting at a 10 with intelligence. So 17,
Nice.
11.
You rolled a 1, huh?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's a botch. Ouch. Okay.
9. So 19,
19. Okay.
16. One more?
One more.
Okay. 15.
Okay.
I got 15, 10, 16, and 19.
Oh, so you just decided to help with the moving too?
Oh yeah, my butthole's itching, man. I wanted to I wanted
Okay.
to get this stuff out of here.
Sure. That's all right. All right. So then, with the added help of Locke, you're able to have the time down and getting the things. Unfortunately, one of the servers takes a bang against the AV4 that Meredith had,
Hmm.
and that was like the second or third one, and Wash happened to be there, and he's like, "Do be careful. These are quite priceless."
But will be as careful as I can with trying to get out of here outside of these mercenaries.
And
So,
and then you hear another outside, and now you hear the peppering of gunfire hitting the walls and occasionally slapping against the door, almost sounding like it's lead rain.
Oh
oh,
wow.
uh, is Wash still around?
No, at
No.
this point he has vanished again.
Do we have any kind of cameras or eyes on the outside where we can see what's going on?
Unfortunately, no. Now with the server disassembled and inside the AV4, you do not.
So pretty much once we're loaded up, we just need to roll that door and jam the hell out.
Correct.
Jill, this is all you, man.
So she's like, okay, so no one's going to tattle on me, right?
You got this, girl. If it works, you can do 4 flips in a row on the way home.
No flips. We have these servers and they're not tied down.
After I said on the way home, after this.
Oh, okay. On the way
Of
home,
course.
just drop me off first.
So she throws the things into gear, and you can hear from the side that you came in that there's a lot of gunfire, like and some small explosives are hitting the walls and whatnot. It's gonna buckle any moment. Like the doors are shaking, and some holes are starting to get punched into it. So she turns the AV4 in another direction, and she's like, you know how we took down that server and like we didn't hear anything else except the bad guys? I think that thing was powering the whole place. So I can't get the door open. So you see her flip the engage switch on the control stick, and then you just see that chin gun just start trying to saw its way out of the building, just brah, 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 brah.
Jill is my girl,
Just
man.
bullets flying and flame visibly actually coming off this chin gun at this point from the muzzle exhaust, and just slapping against the wall and the door that holds it. And
It's
you
probably scaring the shit out of the mercenaries on the other side too.
and you end up hearing a whistling sound and an explosion, which actually throws the AV4 forward just a little bit from the impact, as somebody hit the wall behind you guys with a rocket.
Oh shit!
And just as that happens, she punches it and flies through the hole that she just sawed into the side of this building. It didn't even come down completely, so she rammed it. With that, just so the rest of the door came flying open. Sparks go flying and scraping the AV4, and she takes off into the air. And I mean, you can hear the squelching of tires and whatnot as these mercenaries are starting to pursue.
Gotcha.
And so she throws her goggles on real quick, and she throws on the radar, and she's like, "Holy shit!" She's like, "I've got 7 targets behind us, and they are closing fast. I need somebody on the gun."
I'm gonna hop on.
Okay. So at this point, if you are going to spin the turret and return fire, I don't even know if you have the skill for it. Let's see. Probably not.
Would it be like a pilot gun or something?
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah, I don't.
any piloting. So, well, do you have heavy weapons?
I've got weapons. I don't. Is there heavy weapons?
Yeah,
in there?
under reflex for heavy
Oh
weapons.
yeah, I've got 4 for heavy weapons.
Okay. So you're going to be rolling your reflex and heavy weapons.
Okay, reflex is 9, 13. Yeah, 13. Okay. 18.
All right, so you end up spinning that thing around as you got the headset on, and letting loose with some rounds, as you can actually visually see on the IFF. 5 of the vehicles are actually on the ground, so they came at this with a what appeared to be a large wheeled van, like one of those full size. So they clearly came to take this as well. And then the vehicles themselves are all decked out and Mad Max looking ish, in a sense, with like the layered plating and built on weapons on the side and whatnot. Like these are
This is
not
awesome.
these are nothing like you would find like to be purchased, sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Like these guys came at it, but 2 of the vehicles from this group are actually in the air,
Oh shit.
and they're flying what appear to be helicopter dirigible looking devices
Okay.
of some kind. Obviously lighter armed because they're helicopters, but they are clearly there for aerial support. So you can target any of those if you'd like. You've got the van, you've got the 4 assault vehicles on the ground, and then you've got
Gotcha.
the 2 helicopters in the air.
I'm gonna target the nearest helicopter to
Okay.
us, or dirigible, or whatever we wanted to call them.
All right. Brrrah. Okay, and you hit it. 1 second. Do, do, do. Aerodynes.
Join me in the parlor for tonight. We're having white cake.
Holy shit!
Son
Oh
of a
no! All right, so this chain gun, go ahead and roll 66.
66. Jeez. 2, 3, 4, 6. 25.
25. Ooh, all right. So, so you managed to catch them probably by surprise a little bit as they were swinging into a pursuit formation, and the first one like banked a hard right, and you ended up catching it right on its front left side and just brap, 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 and peppered that thing with with the machine gun rounds, striking it
Awesome.
several times with 5.56. And this chain gun, basically, you just showed them that this chain gun fires 500 freedoms per minute. And just billows of smoke start rolling off the side, as you can see visible flame, and it just comes down and hits hits a part of the 60, what remains, and just blows up. Just pieces of the helicopter blades and parts of the vehicle just go flying.
Dang, man. Does it stop any of the other people pursuing?
No, they're still coming. Jill is dodging. So Jill, at that point, like just after that happened, you heard the cabin start going beep 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 beep, and
Shit.
she ends up throwing the stick to like a hard left and starts doing a barrel roll off to the side. And because you're looking backwards through the visual of the chain gun, you end up seeing that she just narrowly got missed by a rocket.
Holy shit.
Oh wow.
Like you actually see it blur your visual for a second as the contrail just goes whoosh.
I knew what the beeps meant.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna.
So there's random gunfire coming from down below. It's a little bit harder for them to catch you because they're up in the air. The helicopter, however, is the immediate threat because
Threat, yeah.
it is armed with rockets. So next round is she's gunning it at this point. Just to keep it going, she actually throws it down in a downward motion to start trying to sweep start trying to do kind of like a sweeping motion in and out of some of the lower buildings. Super
Gotcha.
risky, but it's in an effort to try and keep out of that missile lock. This is going to make your firing much harder.
Okay.
What are you targeting next?
The helicopter.
Okay. Go ahead and roll again.
Okay. So that's reflex and
Reflex and heavy weapons.
heavy. That's okay. 19.
Okay, 19. So you spin it around and let go firing, and you had the perfect target lined up, but because she's swishing back and forth, you end up just shredding the hell out of a rooftop. And part of a tree, just sending it, flying all about, and you hear that cabin alarm going off again. As it's screaming about missile lock, she ends up flipping a switch on there, and you hear this come off the sides of the AV4 as she's still trying to pull off hard. There,
Chaff.
yes, there is a nearby explosion, which rattles everybody and causes you all minimal damage as you're thrown about in the cabin. And you can see some alarms going off on the center console, but she slaps it to shut it off. It's obviously still flashing, but it turned the volume off. She's like, "Shut the fuck up! I don't need to know this." And she guns it again as the pursuit continues. So, still trying to fire on the chopper.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay.
18.
18. All right. So same thing. She's still pulling some hard evasives at this point, and you fire. But at this point, you like shred the hell out of an old bank. Like you just it peppers up the side and sends remaining glass shards and plaster and whatnot, just screaming on down to the ground. The At this point, the helicopter fires back on the AV4, not with a rocket but with gunfire. Oops. All right, you end up hearing maybe like one or two like connections, like pang, 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 sort of thing. But she's still moving hard enough that and evasive enough that it's clearly hard for this helicopter to get a lock. But now that you've actually got some visuals on kind of what's going on, you can see that the way she's flying is also making it hard for the people on the ground to keep up the pursuit. Because
Gotcha.
even though they're taking streets, they're going to have to like drive and turn and then
Cross
drive
over.
and turn and and cross and whatnot. So really, the only threat at this point is the helicopter. If you can get it before you get to where you're going, you can get them down. You may be able to escape.
I'm gonna yell back to Jill without taking my eyes off the helicopter. Jill, babe, if you can hold it still for 2 seconds to let me get a beat on this guy, I can down him.
All right, Locke, I'll trust you. And so she, brings it about at a level. Oops. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. 18 again.
18. All right. So she brings it down a level. You end up getting a straight bead on the helicopter. And at this point, the helicopter, instead of firing, makes an evasive maneuver and your shots end up going wide, but you came close. They basically they basically forego the attack because those rounds would have caught it right in the cockpit if they hadn't.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And so she jerks the stick again so that way you guys aren't just flying straight or whatnot, giving him a harder target to, because she doesn't know he's not going to fire.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when the return fire doesn't happen, she ends up, banking hard off to a right again. And at this point, it's starting to fire again, but you have another shot.
Okay. 20. Yeah, 20.
Nice. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. You said 66?
66.
That's a lot of dice, man. 6, 7, 10, 12. 27 altogether.
27. All right. So you end up bringing the gun about at this point. You can tell that you guys took some rounds this time as it opened up with gunfire with a similar gun that you have, and you can end up hearing the at this point the AV4 taking some rounds and shudder at this point, and Jill's starting to she's gritting her teeth trying to keep it up in the air. Your gunfire comes from left to right. It ends up sawing off the it ends up sawing off the back end of the helicopter, so it starts to go. It's smoking, but it starts to go into like this uncontrolled spin into the ground before it shatters into a million pieces, and then a dull kind of explosion blows up from the
Awesome.
ground.
Hell yeah.
And Jill is going as fast as she can, but the AV4 at this point is like it's shaking like it's going across the ground, even though it's not.
I'm gonna yell to Jill, airborne threats are taken care of.
She's like, I hope so. This we took a beating here, and you hear
As long as
the
the
beeping
guys
from the gauges again, and she smacks the control panel. It's like, I know.
you got this, girl.
And so then you end up getting a message that appears on the I don't want to say control screen, but the computer screen in the AV4. And she's like, we got the address.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so she flew out a little bit further, probably a little bit further than she needed to, out to like swinging more in a left fashion, more east from where you guys were going. And it looks like the location when you guys are finally touching down is actually well past the Quinn's territory. It looks like it's out in the remains of Fountain Hills.
Oh wow, almost to Fort McDowell.
Yeah, out in that area.
Cool.
Of course, there's virtually nothing out here as far as you can tell. There. I mean, it's still somewhat greenish because there were still some man-made lakes and whatnot, but obviously the changing in the atmosphere and temperatures and whatnot have damaged it in this area. It's a little bit nicer looking part of the desert.
Gotcha.
Um,
Interesting trivia. Did you know that that fountain there is the tallest shooting fountain in the world?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Very
Now
cool.
you do.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. That's pretty interesting.
So you end up touching down at the remains of this old strip mall, which probably near downtown someplace. You can see the broken up sign that looks like it said something about like All American Bar and Grill or something like that. Um, and when it comes down and you guys start getting out, I mean, you can see that there's smoke coming off of the AV4. Like it's going to need some help when you guys get it back. It's going to need some work.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Jill. We'll fix her up.
We're going to need it.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put my hand on Jill's shoulder and I'll text Mac now, just so that he can get prepared.
Okay.
Wrangle the minions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Jill's like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna sit here in the flight seat for a moment and breathe.
Breathe all you need to.
Okay.
You did good. Good. Good job.
Thanks.
Good job, both of you. I mean,
I'm gonna write that down in my dream journal. It said thank you.
So you still have the server, the basically the guide to take everything down and put everything back up. So are you going to take this inside the building and start setting everything up?
yes.
Okay.
Does Wash appear, or has he appeared yet?
He has not yet. No.
Okay. I'm just hoping we're installing it in the right place.
Well, I guess before we start unloading anything, I'm gonna take a quick look around and just get a lay of the area in the building, I guess,
Okay.
before we just willy nilly start unloading. And
Sure. You can tell at one point in time it was a bar, and it's built kind of in a semicircular fashion. Like there's a like I don't know, you call it like an entertainment room, but basically a room where you would have like larger guests or a band play, which is right off of the main entrance, and then the bar itself kind of goes around in a semicircular fashion. They got tables and whatnot that or remains of it there, anyways, I should say. One thing you can tell about this place now that you've kind of taken a lap around, while the insides of the bar for purposes of drinking and entertainment are completely shot, the building itself looks sound. It looks like there have been efforts taken to redo the glass that's in here, and the glass itself has shutters that come down for additional protection. The bar itself is kind of beat up and whatnot, but When you go past the bar into what was likely the kitchen area and store area, that's all been cleaned out. And you can see that there's actually a cage inside.
Okay. So is that pretty clearly where he would want the servers?
Mhm.
Okay. So seeing that, I'm gonna
You've
be
worked
like,
with syntax to know enough to know that that's probably where the computer equipment would go.
okay. Knowing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and gesture to lock in here. Let's get
Okay,
this unloaded and get out of here as soon as possible.
gotcha.
Okay, so go ahead and just give me one intelligence, just straight up intelligence roll and a d10
Okay.
as you're
How
setting it back up.
do we have to do this a whole bunch of times, or how
No,
many
just
times?
the
Do we...
once.
17.
Oh,
17.
Okay.
no, 12. Sorry.
Okay. So you kind of just go from reverse order. You know, you set everything up as guided in the sense of like physically, but then you start doing all the cords and plugging everything back up and whatnot thereafter. And then once that happens, and you throw the power back on, and everything is humming and starting to boot back up, and you even hear like the drives themselves actually make noise, like the old school hard drives, like
That's awesome.
the so it's none of this new tech like everything sounds smooth and super quiet. Like they're it's noticeable.
Yep. Sounds like it's got rocks in it, man.
Not super overbearing, but or whatnot. But after a moment, you hear that air raid sign or sound. The screeching and the bang, bang, dang, dang, like dial up sort of, whatnot.
Bing, ding, ding.
And then you end up seeing Wash show back up. And so he like does one of these numbers and pats himself down. And he's like, "Ooh,
So I kind of figured that this was you. This is it, right?
this is what the new home? Yes, you found it successfully. Thank you. You have no idea how grateful I am."
Yeah, that's okay. What do you do? Can I ask that? If you wouldn't mind me asking that.
I do computer stuff.
Can you be more specific?
So what would the specificity include? Because
The stuff.
I could I could spin up a great game of Oregon Trail if you were really of a like mind.
No, no, no. It's all good. You just seem very useful. Do you change contact information, or could we reach you in the future? Because you're pretty legit. This is pretty neat.
Oh, I hadn't actually considered that. Uh, well, in light of recent events and he kind of like leans to one side, the damage that your vehicle has taken, I would say that speaks well to your trustworthiness. So, yes, I can provide you a contact number.
Sounds great.
Then you hear a little chime as your cred stick gets a little richer.
All right, Wash. Well, it's been good working with you.
Oh, absolutely! It's been fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm certainly never going to forget this for as long as I live.
Are you gonna be okay here?
Yeah, is this fortified enough for you?
I believe it is for now. The
Okay.
alternative is an absolute cesspool, and I'm not willing to entertain that at this point in time.
Well, if it is as soon as it comes cramped, or you need to move again, man, give us a buzz.
I, absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna
All
give him
right.
one of these. Pew.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
En-
check on Jill.
Jill
Enjoy the new
Jill
abode.
is still kind of almost got her head between her legs, just kind of taking it all in and trying to unwind.
Well, when this is over, Jill, I'm gonna get you the biggest grape soda I can find.
She's all, fuck grape soda. I want a beer, even though I know I'm not allowed to have it.
You earned the beer, man,
No,
and flips.
Right now,
Beers and flips.
I just want to get home and hope that they don't spot us in the air.
Well, we got to go back to AJ for a while first, but we can get home as soon as
Uh,
that's all over with.
oh, okay, okay. I'm all right with comfort food then. Although I'm going to gain so much weight.
is the AV cool to fly?
Probably.
Okay. So if we
Roll
need a
some,
garage,
roll some dice. Let's find out.
Yeah, probably,
yeah,
but I don't know. It may be safer if we take this back to the safe house and just
Mm,
take a car.
okay.
that might be a good idea. Okay, let's. I mean, especially flying this thing around right now and it having the damage that it has might be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
It's a little conspicuous.
And so you guys load up and head out. You end up seeing that the cred stick is not showing 10, it's showing 15.
Ooh.
Nice. Get a bonus.
All those damages. See, that's why you got to put it in your contract. Damages.
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 Eric has it in his contract, but it's under enhancements.
Yeah.
It's under companion.
That's the other game, baby. Be quiet.
I know. I'm just kidding. Well, Wash was here and it was just companion.
Yeah, true.
That's dope. I like Wash, man. I was hoping you say something about curse your uh, inevitable betrayal.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. So you guys head back to the safe house, limping at this point, which is probably a good idea. And she nurses the hover van into the the garage and sets it, and just sets it down. And she's just like, her nerves for the time being are actually just shot. This is the first time she was legitimately shot at.
Does does uh does the Javelina grill here have alcohol? Do they serve alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna buy her a beer.
Wait, we're at the safe house though,
Yeah,
right?
you went to
Oh
the safe house.
Oh
Okay.
wait, my bad. Sorry.
I
Do we have
think
beer here?
I think Dane and Hellcat may have had some beer in there, but I don't know if that's a good
I know
idea.
the DA gave us some, but I don't know if everybody drank.
Oh,
You're
that's
gonna
all
get
gone. Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna get in trouble with Hellcat.
I don't care about that. This
You're
is
gonna
my
get
girl,
in
too.
You're gonna get in trouble with Dane Law. I'm just gonna Rusty throws
I've
up
been
her hands
I've
and
been
she's
yelled at
like,
before.
I'm
It's okay.
gonna go check in with Sin.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
she.
go look around for alcohol.
Oh yeah, there's still some there.
Okay. I'm gonna. Is it what is it? A beer or a shot?
No, it's just generic beer.
Okay.
It's not like Smash or anything like that. It's just some El Cheapo grain alcohol.
Okay. I'm gonna grab it and bring it over to her, and I'm gonna open it and drink half of it right away, and I'm gonna give it to her and say, "Don't tell anybody. You're my favorite." I can't get in trouble for giving her half a beer. We're good.
And she says, I really shouldn't be doing this, but she pounds the last half of that.
You're my girl, Jill.
Thanks. And she just kind of throws her head back and just starts staring up at the ceiling at this point, just really trying to come to grips with everything that happened.
I'm gonna let her decompress, man, and go somewhere else.
So, Meredith, you go walking to the back to uh, talk to Sin, and you hear the shower going.
Uh-oh.
Wow. The creep ended up being in the I was gonna say in the coterie, but in the group. So I'm just gonna I'll lightly
There's
rap
Locke
on the
off to the side, doing his best Owen Wilson impression.
Just looking at
Wow, wow, wow.
I'm
the
gonna
Isle of Lesbos.
I'm gonna rap on the chamber door and hey, are you okay?
Oh yeah, no, I was just taking a shower. Sorry, you can come in.
Hmm?
Okay, just making sure.
I'm
So
indecent, but that's okay.
so I'm just gonna walk in.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give her a recount of what
Hmm.
happened. The less gory details of being pursued. Just hey, we got shot at a little bit,
Hmm.
but um, we got 15,000 for that
15,
job.
15 off the moving gig. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
Okay. That
for-
that was probably some like high end stuff then, was it?
I mean,
tell her about the AI contact.
I mean, I assume that's part of my recount, but
I'm not in here for reals.
but yeah, it ended up being a bunch of servers that was a guy named Wash. Um, so he seemed somewhat important or well known, at least, that people wanted to take him. So I just asked him if we could keep him as a contact in the future, and he said since we went to such great lengths to keep him safe that we could. So, I mean,
So
we need
she stops the shower. She's there naked and throws the door open. She says, a rogue AI? That's who that was?
yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I'm pretty sure it was pretty.
I wonder why he didn't like just vanish into the net.
I don't know. He had his own
Huh.
setup, so
Okay, well, congrats, son. I mean, 15,000 is nothing to laugh at, so.
well, 15,000 and a new contact.
Yeah, okay. Man, I'll have to keep that in mind. Everything
Yeah,
else okay?
no, Jill's a little shaken up. If you maybe want to go check in on her at some point, somebody who may not have been tied with the whole event might help calm her down a little bit, but
Okay.
she's very shaken up.
Okay, well, I mean, she clearly did a good enough job to get you all back here in one piece, so. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, are you going to just leave her here then and head back out, or what's the deal?
Um, I'm gonna check with her to see if she feels like coming out, because we could sure use a driver. We
Okay.
still have those two other jobs that we could work on.
Mm-hmm.
I can also meet Chunk later tonight, but you know, she's she's the wheels.
Okay. Okay. Um, well, let me get dressed then, and I'll see it. I'll see to her or something. What are you going to do in the meantime?
I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Locke to see what he is comfortable with. I kind of haven't debriefed with him at all, and then maybe figure out what our next plan is gonna be.
Okay. All right. So I'll just get dressed real quick, and then I'll see how she is, and I guess take it from there.
Okay. I'm gonna go out and find Locke. Hey,
Locke is probably in front of the TV at this point or something, just browsing.
What's up?
you didn't get Jill drunk or anything, did you?
I gave her half a beer.
Okay, I didn't hear you say even give her half. So just leave me out of that.
Yeah, she's good. She's real
Okay.
good.
So we have a little bit of time tonight. Do you want to work on anything else?
We need 15 grand, man. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. That's a good
What
night.
uh, what out of character? What time is it now?
At this point, you're looking at after the load up and whatnot. You're probably looking at about 9.
Okay. We
Okay.
should probably get back to your cooking buddy and see. Or what time does the place close out there?
7.
I don't remember. Oh,
So he said
he's he,
after 8.
yeah, he's probably waiting for us, man.
Okay.
Let's just
Um,
jump back up there.
that sounds good. We can at least, if we're even too late to cook, we can just check in on him and see if he needs anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to grab Jill for the ride, or would you prefer to drive?
Let's just drive. Let's let Jill decompress for a while.
Are you comfortable driving? Can you
I
drive
can
a
drive.
car?
Yeah, I can drive a car. We can take my bike too if you want to hold on to my waist as we go.
Yeah,
Just
that'll work too.
Well, you've always got your car.
yeah. You didn't want to put your
Uh,
big fakies on my back?
yeah, not particularly.
Because
uh,
if you remember, the Nomads fixed up Meredith's car.
that's
Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah, we can take my car. That's fine.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Give Jill a night off.
Okay. I'm gonna go check on Jill before we leave just to make sure she's okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Let
peek
her
around the
know we're
corner and say,
taking off.
"Hey, if there's any soda to be had, I'm gonna get it for you."
She chuckles just a little bit. She's like, "All right, thanks, Locke. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna go to bed."
Okay. Get some rest.
And Sin pats her on the back and walks her back to her room. When you guys fire up the Meredith mobile and head on out, you end up hearing a hiss sound, like a psst, as the cryogenic units in the vehicle engage
Mm.
and start to recharge and whatnot. You end up the seats that you guys are sitting in with the power in the vehicle now automatically start to adjust to the contour of your bodies.
This is
Uh,
a nice ride,
the
Meredith.
front seats do, anyways. And then the on the inside on the floorboard, it lights up with kind of a light neon purple.
Wow, Mac went all out on this. This is pretty great.
And as soon as you guys head out and hit the freeway, the first thing that comes on the well, it's not a CD player, but in essence, the stereo you've got in the system, you end up hearing this. All my homies are the low riders. The downside to that, however, is that's the only song that plays for the whole
Oh,
trip.
Dang.
So the whole time you're out there, and it stops, ending that song, and it starts over again. So that's something you'll have to work on.
we're gonna have to talk to Mac about that.
But at any rate, that's what we'll go ahead and pause for tonight. As you guys are heading back out there, we will, of course, loop back up with the others in 2 weeks.
Dude, I had a good time, man. This was a pretty
Yeah.
Good. I'm very glad.
and we met Wash. That's pretty dope.
And that was all of that was actually randomly generated.
That's cool,
So
man. That's a
Nice.
handy
so
little tool.
so I add
Yeah.
I mean I add a little bit of a flair to it, but
Yeah.
the whole basis of it was all randomly generated. So I kind of put together some three quick little job type missions, and you guys chose one of them and took off from there. So
Awesome.
I'm very happy with my my green screen of Doom and the lighting that I've gotten here now. Everything looks
Mm.
nice, nice.
Yeah, it does. On
You'll
the
have
screen, it looks dope, dude.
when Zoe jumped up in your lap, it was really cute.
Yeah, she was hitting your face with her tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So
It was good.
with that, Cyberpunk will be back on for March 28th. We have the Ashland by Night Epilogue 1 coming up on the 20th.
Knock on wood.
So we find out what exactly happened to our intrepid cast of vampires. And then the next Firefly game should be the 25th.
Mhm.
Sound right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because it falls on the same nights that we do, or weeks, I should say, that we do Cyberpunk. So, hooray!
Hmm.
Alrighty, so thank you guys all for tuning in and or watching the video on demand afterwards on YouTube or on Twitch. And hopefully we'll see you guys all again soon. Bye-bye!
It was a good game, man.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to bend our pizzoints.
I really like the doors closing part of the